Hi everyone, welcome to Downtime. I'm Ozzy.
I'm Aida.
And I'm Sam.
Ding, ding, ding. So
Yay!
the guest has introduced herself already. Sam, if you guys don't know yet, is our designer, our very talented designer for Downtime. So if you do follow us on Instagram, you'd see that there are really beautiful collages, beautiful fonts, beautiful everything, the colors as well, all done by the very talented Sam. So, yeah, Sam, would you like to add to that?
For those of you who don't know me, I work full-time as a graphic designer at a small studio in Petaling Jaya. And yeah, it's what I've been doing for the past 2 years. And I guess even way before that, art is just something I was naturally inclined to. So here I am, working with you guys and talking on this episode.
Nice. And like all the designs, right? It's well, would you say it's self-inspired? Like as in you don't copy and paste from Google or something. You did it yourself,
Oh,
right?
there were references.
Mm.
I think because this time there's actually a purpose for them. Like each collage has a purpose. I'm trying to fit each collage to the themes in the episode.
Mm.
So in this instance, I have been referring to
Referring.
examples of like layouts that I want,
Mm.
layouts that I think will help, sort of capture the themes and messages better. But like, because otherwise I usually just like dump a whole stack of papers and clippings and then I just wing it, like personal collages. But yeah,
Nice.
I've been doing collages for 5 years, I think, around there.
Whoa. Yeah, I better
Wow.
start now. Yeah. But like, okay, backtracking from that, coming onto downtime, uh, Sam was brought in by Ozzy, and before this, guys, how do you guys know each other? Like, how do you guys know each other to be able to be comfortable enough to say, "Hey, come on downtime with our do our designs for us, or come
Hmm.
and talk with us." Yeah.
So, who wants to start? Sam, do you
Oh,
want to
I
proceed?
guess because right now, like, Azzy is the mutual friend. Like, I was introduced to Ida through Azzy, so I think I will let Azzy explain things through her
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember. I met Sam through an event, and we were both part of this scholars program, and it was very
No,
embarrassing.
it was orientation. It was like we
It was
were
orientation
freshies. This was like foundation.
5 years ago.
And
Oh,
yes,
6 years
and
ago.
I don't remember, but it was a long time ago. So we both showed up for the same orientation night. Well, not night, but like we showed up for the same orientation event, and she was the first person to sort of to actually respond to my lame ass jokes. She and I was like, oh, thank you. Like it
Oh.
was really awkward. It was really embarrassing because of said jokes. Like I said shit like I'm single as a Pringle. I still am, but like like
Same
it
here.
was yeah, but like yeah,
We're
it was
still
really
single as Pringles.
yeah, and yeah, it was really embarrassing to think
I
back.
like the
But
joke.
I
thank
loved the
you.
joke. I
Yeah.
thought she was so cool. She was just like, aha, I'm single as a Pringle. And I was just like, aha, you're my new friend.
You're
And you
chosen.
and
I
you
want her
too.
in my life. Like that's the way.
That's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's how we met because we had a shared sense of humor. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, and I guess like same wavelength, just
Yeah.
generally like just almost very cliche, but clicked, like we both clicked
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah. And then we just yeah, we just kept stayed close to each other all throughout foundation, and then we went on to degree, and then now we're both working. So it's like, yep.
Oh,
So yeah.
that's so
And
nice.
when we started downtime, I was so sometimes I would go to Sam to be like, Sam, what do you think of these designs? What do you think of this? So she's like my consultant. I should pay her now that I think
Like
of it.
free design
Free
tips.
consultancy. And she'd be like, okay, okay, So I was just, so then I asked her, I was like, I think after our first volume, I asked her if she wanted to be a part of the team. I kind of forgot how I came about asking, or yeah, but all I know is that she started in volume 2.
It's a true blessing. Thanks for being here. Honestly.
Happy to be here. Yeah, I don't really remember the exact talk that led to this, but I remember thinking this is a good. I think this would be a fun opportunity. Like it'll be a very fun project fun collaboration project, and I really liked. Like so far, I like working with you guys. It's been great. It's been a fun trip.
Yeah. It's not a podcast anymore. It's a heartfelt conversation.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
like,
I'm tearing up.
yeah. But like, on top of that, you work as a designer, right? Full time. Like,
Yeah.
you go to an office that your job is to design things for people. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So our clients come in and we do everything from name cards, posters, brochures. I get, like you just the entire brand system. So
Oh.
we typically work with small businesses lah. And that's because we're also a small team,
Mm-mm.
and we prefer working with small studios who like are passionate, not as corporate. I think that's a very
Yeah.
different kind of studio. Those are like ad agencies where they deal with
Mm.
big clients like McDonald's Malaysia, KFC. Yeah, so I yeah day to day looks like me going into work, working on a new logo, or working on a new name card. Sometimes we help them with social media because it's like they also want that sort of planned grid. It's like
Yeah.
so yeah, and we also have personal projects.
Mm-hmm.
My boss, he likes us to sort of he started this risograph zine. So risograph is it's an alternative to like your typical digital printing that you know of. Risograph,
Mm-hmm.
the colors are very vibrant. It's soy ink based, and
Ooh.
there's just this sort of, it's almost like silk screen painting,
Ooh.
but you're taking the mechanism of silk screen printing and putting it into a photocopy machine, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But so the results, it's very colorful, it's very bright. So we have sort of every year we put out maybe 2 issues, and we just we choose a topic, we choose a theme, and then we just create fun illustrations around that theme. And I guess like even just recently our studio, it was our 10th anniversary. Like my boss, it's been 10 years since he founded the studio, so we had a special anniversary edition, and yeah, it was very fun
That's
making
nice.
it.
Well, where can, like, are you guys on social media or anything? Your studio?
Oh yeah, we are. We are not Lie, because the name of our studio is LIE, Lie, and our logo is the Pinocchio. So that's why our account is named We Are Not Lie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so anyone watching, you want some services done in Petaling Jaya or Klang Valley, go find this studio. Sam will be right there to, bring your visions to life. It's so good. Like,
My
okay.
boss will be very happy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. And like there was one thing you did mention just now where your day-to-day looks like making logos and everything. So like I work in corporate and my BAU, my business as usual is very different from that. It's data entry. And I wanted to ask you, how do you keep creative? Like, how do you keep this creative flow if that is an everyday task? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm, I guess fortunately I don't have to create logos every day because that really sounds tiring. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
brain power to to just churn out a logo each day. But because our branding usually comes in stages, so you have the name, and usually you start with a mood board. What kind of business this is? What kind of voice does this business have? Is it like a very trendy cafe? Is it a very dark, moody coffee house? Is it a bright, very well lit vegetarian? I don't know. So once we have that locked down, then only we proceed into the logo stage. So as for how I stay creative, if I'm being honest, logos aren't my strength as a graphic designer. That's I feel like my boss is better at it than me. So he'll guide us. He'll usually we have our own we'll contribute, we'll suggest this sort of concept that inspires the logo, and he will also chime in with his advice, his own suggestions, and we just work together lah. But yeah, I still rely on the guidance of my boss, like each day, because every time I think about every time someone tells me, okay, now we're gonna have to work on the logo, I was like, shit. I get very nervous
Yeah.
because the
Understand?
logo is quite important, or at least a lot of people when they think of branding and designing, the first thing they think of might be a logo. Like that's the first thing that comes up to everyone's mind lah.
Understand. Yeah.
So people
So,
tend to sort of people tend to place a lot of emphasis on logos. Sometimes I would say too much emphasis, because like it's not just a logo lah. Like there's a lot of other factors that go into creating a good brand, a memorable brand design. So
yeah.
yeah, yes,
So,
I really need a lot of constant feedback from my boss. I feel in fact, it doesn't really feel like a creative thing. I feel like there's also a lot of like actual like brainstorming. I don't know how to describe this, but I also approach things very rationally. I will just think of the message behind the brand, and then usually I just try to capture that message in a very abstract way,
I see.
not non-literal way. And if I'm lucky, I make a very sometimes you just make a surprise connection between two unrelated things, and then that's how you get really smart logos.
I
Like
see.
there's some logos have like hidden messages in them, or like
Oh
there's a very
yeah.
Yeah,
smart concept
yeah.
to them. Like I feel like those are the best. I feel like, and you only chance upon them by luck sometimes, I feel, because I'm still working on that.
So,
I wish I could be that sort of genius.
in
It's so
time,
easy.
most probably in time. Yeah.
Hopefully.
And I
Yeah.
there was also one thing that you mentioned, but I can only remember the question. You talked a lot about logos and what the business is like as a designer, but like outside that, what other things have you done, like artistically, or things that you have ventured into or have not, but maybe you want to try?
Oh, you mean
Anything
like
artistic,
outside of my work, is
outside
it?
work or inside your work, anything as well? Just something
Ha.
you want to try.
Um, I do wanna. I want to draw more often,
Nice.
because, like, yeah, I mean, there's the collages, and then there's also I'm also dabble in illustration lah, and I just wanna draw cute shit, man. I
Yeah. Oh my god. If you
Nice.
look at her profile, yeah, there's really
I
cute shit on
wanna.
it.
Oh, thank you. But like, yeah, I just want to draw cute shit. I want to draw shit that makes me laugh, that makes me smile,
Mm.
and that makes people really confused. I feel like it's a very good avenue for me to sort of show my sense of humor, or yeah, because it gets weird sometimes, but I haven't had the chance to show that because I've been so busy with work, so I haven't
Yeah.
been drawing a lot.
Do you
Yeah.
draw comics by chance? Do you do
I
comics?
I do, and I have this very not recent one, but if you scroll down through my profile, you'll
Uh-huh.
probably, did I put it on my profile? Did I put it in my stories? But basically, the whole premise is like there's this girl. She's in a running position, and then she's maybe you can like show it on the screen, like with post production, you can just show it on screen. So this girl, she's just running through all four seasons. It's like first is spring, and then she's thinking like boys are stupid, and then and then summer boys are stupid, autumn boys are stupid, and then winter boys are stupid. And there's like a melting snowman at the side. So I was like, yeah.
That's so cute.
So it's
I,
like,
I really love
Nice.
her illustrations of it. But like, I also have a question though, because I think just now you described your process. I don't know if you could define it as creative process, but I guess your creative process at work. How does it differ from like your own process when you are doing your own designs?
ooh, I feel like it's very different. There's a lot less pressure, and because there's a lot less pressure, that's why it comes quite like rather naturally. Almost like it can come and in like a random burst of inspiration, and I'll just try to quickly capture it in a sketch. And that's, I mean, obviously that's how I prefer to work, but I just can't do that with my job. But
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes I'll think of a joke, or I think of like a stupid pun. I don't know. Then I'll just like, yeah, I
Single as
could
a
turn that
single.
into,
Wow.
yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could turn that into a stupid comic. I'll do that. So yeah, it depends. Like collages, it's just me trying to choose pretty colors, and it's almost like composing. You know how people like compose music and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very free flow. With illustration, usually it's just me trying to make a punchline. So yeah,
Nice. Looking forward to more stuff lah. So far, what I've seen on
hopefully.
your feed, I cannot like. I feel like my eye power has gone down just because of that. I'm 600 now. Probably if I stay on your Instagram
Oh
for 1 hour, I go down to 500.
wow,
Yeah.
I think I'm like 300 or 400 on one side, and then the other side is like 200. But it's probably
Whoa.
increased because I've been like staring at my screen a lot.
Oh shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, mine is 600. I'm almost legally blind. On my
Oh my
way. But
gosh. Are you
yeah.
going to surgery?
Who
Is an Yeah, is it
anyone
an
else?
option? I don't know. Do they ever
Yeah,
recommend that?
LASIK, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
once I am brave enough to go, I probably should lah. But yeah. Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. We were talking about we were talking about creativity and stuff.
Creativity.
But yeah. Uh, I had another question, but I forgot. Did you have anything so far?
I also had a question, and I think it slipped off my mind because I was into your eye story,
Yeah, I story. Okay, we'll
your
come back to
glasses
the
story.
creative stuff in a bit lah. I
Yeah.
story, I story. Oh, actually, what do you call it? Is there anything else that? Oh, I know. Are there any what's the word for it? Are there things that people perceive about designers that they say, oh, designers are like this, designers are like this, but are completely false? So, example, how people
Mm,
perceive doctors is that, oh, they are lifeless and they never make time for family. But like,
mm,
which is not necessarily true actually, because I've seen very family oriented doctors and very
mm.
funny ones, you know. So are there any, what's the word for it, Azi? Like, not false
Is there
accusations, it's
Like
like
stereotypes? Like,
misjudgment,
misconceptions.
misconceptions, yes,
yeah.
about
Yeah,
designers or just generally people in the creative industry.
that's
What's
a
one
good
thing?
question.
Yeah.
I think uh I feel like it can be its own bubble, but I guess with any industry, it can be its own bubble. Like people that
Yeah.
are outside of that industry don't know much about them. But off the top of my head, like I guess maybe not a lot of people realize the amount of effort, the amount of actual work that goes into each design. And consequently, because of that, they tend to undervalue design lah. Obviously, the like the younger generation, like all these new F&B startups or businesses, they're aware that a good branding, a good design can sort of elevate your business, elevate your brand. But I'm talking about like government departments, like really corporate companies. They tend to have a very fixed idea of what design is, and when they do approach, let's say they do approach us, our studio, like, hey, we want you to do something for us, they might have a lot of opinions. Like we like to joke. There's this classic line that every designer is afraid of. It's like, make the logo bigger, make it bigger. It's like, make it pop. It's like, when we started, I was like, oh my god. So like, I'm thinking of feedback. Like, I'm thinking of comments like that, and I'm thinking of the kind of people who give comments like that. So and then also, like, they can be quite careless with designs. You see that in people who just kind of steal artwork, and then they just turn it into like
Yeah.
God.
That
so
sucks.
there's this, like, generally there's this, like, lack of, I guess is an information gap. They
Yeah.
just because they don't know about our practice, what we do, they don't know enough about it. So they either tend to just roll with it and do whatever they want with it, or maybe they just don't think that it's that important, but it is. And
Yeah.
then you see the results of that lack of knowledge, that lack of awareness, in things like, do you remember the tourism logo, the one with like the orang utan, and it's like wearing sunglasses, and then it's like
Yeah.
Malaysia. And I was like,
Yeah,
like yeah, that is a
that's
good
why you need to
example.
design.
So it's like, that is why we as designers should work to sort of teach people about our practice, and then subsequently, and like also, like, that is it's up to the public, the general public, and also mostly the government lah. Like, it's also up to them to sort of really place more, I guess, just really support the industry more, because other countries do it. It's almost like a cultural export. So they realize that their designers can help promote the country,
Yeah.
services, goods, or even tourism, and they really try to support the industry and give grants, and just let us engage with, like, reputable studios and designers to design their campaigns, government campaigns, government logos, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I just had this
Dang.
conversation with my boss. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. Oh, you had this conversation with your boss as well?
Yeah, we talk
So,
about it over lunch.
oh,
Yeah.
That's so
that's so good.
nice.
That means, like,
Yeah,
you guys are in the right mind, going towards the right direction, because not a lot of people think about these things. They don't think about the growth and how far things can improve from what they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
honestly, I think people just need to be, like, somehow people just need to see that, like, it could be better. Like, the design you
Yeah.
see, it really could be better. Or
Yeah.
and then maybe, like, even, like, at the most basic level, it's like, people should realize that, like, design is everywhere. Like,
true.
someone designed this curtain
Yes.
behind me, someone designed the layout of a magazine that you're reading, and
Mm.
you don't notice it because it's good design. If it's bad design, like that tourism logo, it's going to scream at you and not let you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that line. You don't notice it because it's good design. That's
it's
so
doing
true.
the job. It's invisible. Like a
Yes.
book is easy to read because someone took the time to set each line, the typography.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
Gosh, you really don't
yeah.
appreciate art until you
design
really
is
Yeah.
like,
everywhere, guys.
yeah.
So,
And the reason why it's so simple and so like people can appreciate it or like it's easier for people to
mm.
absorb art is because it was really worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know how there are different I don't know if it's a personality type or just the way people think. You know, some people are more skewed towards logical, analytical, science stuff as they call it, or people
Mm-hmm.
label artistic, creative, expressive stuff on the other side. Left brain, right brain. How would you kind of, not to say convince, but how would you share knowledge and kind of grasp this opposite, the polar opposite side, to see design as how they view numbers or how they view logic and facts? You know what I mean? Right brain is creative, right? Left brain is smarts. Which one?
Yes.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that's proven to be like not
Not
it's proven to not be real.
yeah, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
label it as left brain, right brain for now. How would you convince someone that, let's say a client comes to you and he's very logical and is very like, okay, I just need a design for the sake of it. How would you make them see that, oh hey, this can be better, or why do we place this dot in this position? Yeah, how would you make them understand the logic behind the creativity?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, this is also assuming that the client wants to listen to you,
Oh
because like
yeah.
there have been cases where we tried to
True.
explain like hey, there's a reason like the logo isn't that big, we need to like give it some space to breathe, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like no, we need to
Yeah,
make it bigger.
yeah.
So assuming that the client is willing to listen, willing to try to understand our work, I guess one way to go about it is to just make a comparison. It's like this is what it looks like when the logo is at this perfect size, and this is what it looks like when the logo is bigger. I guess
Understand?
that's the first thing that comes to mind. Um,
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything else. Like so far, we haven't been asked to sort of prove your work. Just like prove to me that you know what you're doing. Because it was like I
Yeah.
mean, like that's why you're looking for it. Like that's why you came to us in the first place.
Mm-mm. Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I ask this is because, like, even out of design, out of creativity, if we look at the world generally, there's always two very strong sides of each spectrum where people have a hard time meeting halfway. So in
Mm,
context, like, how can we make people see that actually, if they kind of open their minds to it, learn the art, they can see that, okay, this makes sense. You know, it's
mm,
like how, like, as a kid, I easily reject uh, a certain type of music, let's say, because I just don't understand the art of it. And how we can further understand it is we just dive into it and analyze it. So I
mm,
guess, would you say that it comes to the will to learn something
mm.
that might make someone understand?
Yes,
Perhaps.
like it definitely helps if the client or the person who asked the question is curious. They
Mm.
want to know more. And I think it also just came to me that usually the way you are convinced to maybe try a new show, try a new music
Ah.
genre, or just learn about something new is when not all the time, but like, like maybe suddenly you learn about the process, the amount of work that actually goes into the craft, and you learn how this musician like was inspired by something in nature, and then how they translated it into like musical notes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think generally when people hear the amount of heart and effort that you put into the work, that's usually enough to open their eyes. Sincerity in your work,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
Honesty, yeah.
Yeah, even with, I could say, acting, theater.
Yes.
If you start to tell me the amount of preparation that goes into each, even just the rehearsal, I actually get to learn new things. Like I'll be
Yeah.
like, wow,
Mm.
Yeah.
and also I just want to
Exactly.
emphasize that, I just want to. I feel like people should also know that, yeah, and like literally anyone can be creative. Literally anyone can
Oh,
make art, and there has we're only at this. The only reason that we're here, where it's like, oh, like I'm not that good, is because we attach the word good, art, and bad. Like there's a lot of emphasis on that. Art is art. Like, the whole point of art is that you're creating it out of nothing. You're
Yeah.
already creating art, and that is good enough. So, it's an inherent part of being human.
Gosh, it
oh,
really reminds me of like, I think we went to a retreat, Aida, that
oh
like
yes.
in 2019, and we had one of the workshops required us to get in touch with our child, with our inner child. And I
Mm.
Ooh.
think it's interesting because as we grow older, the reason why people, I feel, the reason why people are more inclined towards not trying new things out or trying not to be as creative as they wanted to be is because we learned that we should do things as perfectly as possible. We should present them in a way where others can appreciate it. But as a
Mm.
child, you don't really think about those things. You do things because you want to, and that's all. That's the only reason you want to do
Yes.
that. And I think if we can get in touch with our inner child again, it might help with bringing out that creativity.
Yes, definitely. And like every like, if you notice, every child is like so expressive, so
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, even though like they like scribble and you just don't understand, but like for
Yeah.
some reason
No,
it's like
like
interesting.
I agree with you guys because when I was working with kids in 2019 as well, Azzy, um,
Ooh.
when I worked with them and we gave them a task, they really, really enjoy coloring, drawing, anything to do with art. We made collages as well, and they were really good
Yeah,
collages. There was no kid that said the words, I can't. There was no kid that didn't do it. They, even if let's say in our adult judgment days already, we can look at something and say, okay, this is not at its best. If I, like, when I was overlooking them, I thought to myself, okay, he is clearly holding something back. But they didn't stop. That's the thing. And I really agree with how expressive they are. And we forget that we can learn just as much from kids as they can learn from us. And
that's so
I
true.
really, oh man, huh, yeah. But yeah, anyway, away from the topic of kids, yeah, kids are inspirational nonetheless, like legit,
They are.
because they're so brave, they're so courageous with what they do, which is also dangerous, like but they see a pot and they want to know if it's hot and they touch it and then they burn their hands. But yeah, I wanted to also bring up uh being, let's say, new to drawing or writing, let's say, or acting, anything in the creatives. What would you guys kind of recommend to someone who's just stepping foot, like dipping their toes into this water? Like, let's say, Sam, for like designing work, like drawing, anything visual, or Azi, anything theater or something to do with speaking, public speaking. What would you guys say? Yeah. Sorry, I
I
need to
want to
charge
hear
the
it from
speaker.
Azzy. I really want to
What?
know.
I was gonna say Sam should go first because like she started like I could see her beaming. She's like, wow. at the question. Good question, Ida. I want to hear from Ida too. So
Oh,
like, whatever happens, we're
Everyone's gonna
she's a
give tips
theater
today.
kid.
You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah,
Everyone's gonna give out their secrets for free.
yeah,
yeah. Let's
free
go. Maybe,
counseling.
Ozzy, do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, I guess with theater and with speaking, I've never really like dabbled in public speaking as often as I wanted to. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I guess what I would say is that making mistakes has really helped me um, be more creative, as well as really um, help me sharpen the way I do things. So it's really hard because I did grow up in a way where I had to do everything perfectly. I was too afraid to
Yeah.
make mistakes because it's really scary. Like people make fun of you, people like
Yeah.
don't trust
Hmm.
you after a mistake. But when you find people who are willing to be a bit lenient or a bit understanding, I
Understanding,
think
yeah.
that like it would really help. And just try not to care about what people think. I know it's easier said than done, but you got to keep
Mm.
making mistakes, and eventually you'll stop caring as well. And
Yeah.
then you become like most of that creativity comes out. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
the only
nice.
advice I have in mind right now. Maybe another one is reconnect with your inner child. Just don't think about anything else except putting pen to paper or like I don't know, just speaking. Just do anything.
Nice.
I want to add to that. Like basically, like every time someone tells us that we should connect to our inner child, they're basically asking us to sort of reconnect with whatever that makes us happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And like that's kind of ties into like the advice that I was gonna give, which is to say, which was like yeah, if you're starting out in something, could be drawing, could be cooking. Like this really applies to any sort of hobby or craft that you want to explore,
Mm.
but like just really focus on what makes you happy. For example, I'm a total dessert person, like sweets, cakes, puddings. Like I love that shit. And cooking is also something that I'm dabbling in. So if I like desserts and I want to try cooking, maybe I should start with learning dessert recipes, easy dessert recipes that like any beginner can make. And drawing, like if I like frogs, if I like cupies, if I like flowers, like that's what I'm gonna draw. And I'm gonna draw like 1,000 of them. And then maybe by the end of it, I'll be a really good artist of
yeah,
frogs and cupies and flowers. So yeah, that's the whole point. You just sort of do something that makes you happy, and then you just sort of accidentally get good, that become really good at it.
I like that. I really like that. It's a really nice outlook. Well, anything
yeah.
else you guys want to add to that? No?
No,
Before I.
I guess I want to hear what Aida has to say.
I mean,
Spill it.
I. Sorry?
Yeah,
Spill. Oh.
still.
I mean, I really agree and resonate with you guys and what you said. I feel like you guys have already covered a lot of it. For me now, I'm more into writing, and
Mm.
what really helps me, the same thing as what Aziz said, making mistakes. There are no mistakes in writing. There are none. And also about what makes you happy. I feel like uh, for me, writing is all about expressing the inner. Uh, it's a vulnerability that we don't express on a day to day or a week to week basis. It's something that goes way far back. So, Ozzy, you mentioned about inner child as well, and I feel like words really dig that up. So when it comes to, let's say, you, whoever is watching wants to start writing, the first step is not pen or paper. It's not getting the nicest book or pencil or pen or anything. It is to be honest with yourself first, to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say that this has happened to me and I accept it. Or this is how I look and I accept. Or this is how I am, I accept. You have to completely be brutally honest with yourself. If you feel like you are the worst person at a given point, is that anxiety speaking, or is it because someone is saying that to you? You have to have your own voice basically to be able to translate that into any, I don't know, any Roman letters or I don't know. So honesty really goes a long way because when I read someone's work and I sense that it's very falsified, like it's not coming from them or their hearts, you can tell. You can tell in the words they use, even if it's fancy words, even if it's someone you've never met, you can kind of tell this isn't them. There's no personality to it, or even if there is, it's very what they call basic. So I feel like people might overlook how important it is to just be yourself in the creative process. That's why I really resonate with what you guys said because it's so true. You just show up as you are, try your best, be kind to yourself. I
I
really
want
like,
to add.
yeah,
Oh,
please.
sorry. Yeah,
No, no,
I think
please do.
like yeah, but basically all of us we're talking about being vulnerable, being sincere.
Yes.
Vulnerability, sincerity is what um it's you can tell. Yeah,
Mm.
you can tell if a piece of writing is sincere. You can tell if someone is giving their all, bearing their soul out at rehearsals. You can tell if drawing is coming from a very tender place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can tell. That's what I've been thinking the whole time. I'm just like, yeah, but it makes sense because I feel like a lot of art, a lot of good art is very expressive of
Yeah.
like one's life or oneself. So, yeah, that makes sense. It's very interesting. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it.
Yeah. And I guess anyone who's watching, let this video be that spark. It doesn't have to relate to just creative stuff. It anything that you've always wanted to do that you've been holding off due to any circumstance. There's three people here telling you that you can get to it. Like
Do it.
the only thing stopping us is what we tell ourselves. And even let's say your circumstances can't be fulfilled right now. Let's say money is an issue. I hope that you can find a way to let that resolve itself because um things like that, they're not easy. Like I can easily say oh money is available. No, it's not for a lot of people. So there are a lot of free programs around. I should have probably plugged free programs for like theater and stuff. Check out our Instagram later. We will be sharing
Yeah.
probably like things in our stories on free workshops, writing workshops, or like poetry and stuff to kind of get that going. I'm not sure about art stuff, but yeah, I'm not sure if those workshops are a thing. But definitely, if it comes to writing workshops, poetry, readings, those things, there are a lot of free ones here. So yeah, let this be the message. But yeah, if there's nothing to add on that part, then we can slowly come to a close.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
already 6.
Yeah.
Already
Um.
6.
Yeah. So with all the creativity flowing, let's just talk about who we are as people now. I
Let's get a bit more
realized that
personal.
personal,
Yeah.
yeah, because three of us we're Librans. We're Librans. Oh, in the same week of a birthday,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Librans,
gosh.
and what else? Do you guys know your personality types? Myers
I do.
Briggs. I'm INFJ.
Oh wow, INFJ.
INFJ.
Yeah.
That's like I'm also an INFJ.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, gang? Ozzy, are you ENFJ or P? I feel like
I'm an
J.
ENFP.
P.
So it like I think even I mistaken myself for being a J, but it
Oh.
always comes out as P. I think I'm a fake J. So I'm a fake beep beep. I was gonna
J?
swear, but like fake beep beep. I'm sorry, it's who I am. They say Libras are like, oh, you don't know who they are. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm an ENFP or an ENFJ. According to the website, I'm a P. So
I don't know.
yeah.
But
But like,
nice.
it's so nice to hear that you guys are INFJs because apparently that's like people that I would get along with most. So
It makes
Hey,
sense now.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my
here.
gosh. INFJ. I rarely meet any INFJs. So
It's
you're
rare.
probably the
Same.
second one that I know. The first one is my sister. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm so blessed honestly to be living in the same house as an INFJ because like we're both introverted, so if we need our space, we're like, okay, we're in the other room. Just like if I'm living with another extroverted person, Barbie lah, I cannot. I'm sorry.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
it's my cats are already so extroverted needing my attention, so
oh
I'm
my
like,
God, same.
yeah. Sometimes, yeah. But yeah, interesting, interesting. INFJ is advocate. ENFP is
The campaigner.
campaigner.
Wow, we should just
Ooh.
run for office right now. We should just run for
Let me just
office
phone
together.
them up. What's your number,
It
guys?
makes sense though, campaigner. Like I can
Yeah,
see it. I can see it. ENFJ is. I
ENFJ.
know
It starts with an A, I think.
INFP is mediator. I used to be INFP, but then I grew into a J. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I asked is actually I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like asking to kind of get to know you guys more in
Mm,
depth.
I
But
guess I'll
yeah.
talk more about like how I feel about that label, like the INFJ thing.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, lah, I try to take them with a pinch of salt because like ultimately, like yeah, they are personality tests and they
Mm.
don't fully capture the nuance of being a human being. But
Yeah.
I really like being. I really like being an INFJ, and it makes sense to me, because yeah, I am still quite introverted. New people freak me out.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a crowd of them. And I tend to be very idealistic,
Yes.
and that has gotten me not into trouble, but like I guess my family, like for example, like my family, they might not be as idealistic. They might be a little bit more cynical. So
Mm.
like sometimes we just don't gel in that
Yeah.
aspect. So yeah, but like I I've tried to be more closed off or more cynical because that's what they tell me, because that's what they keep telling me will protect me when I go out into the real world. But
Mm.
it just doesn't work. I just end up feeling even more miserable. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I want to share. I want to share things. I want to talk to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to fully embrace that part, like, because maybe before this I might have been trying to suppress it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope you find your way. I feel like you're already more than halfway there lah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're
Yeah.
very self-aware. So
Yeah.
Really, because like it's not fun. Everything is my fault. I want to stop being self-aware. I just want to be a
no.
rock. I want to be a cloud. I want to be a river, and I'm just like flowing, and
Just
there's just like no moral compass, and just like I'm just a
Yeah.
river man.
Self-awareness is tiring, but it's
It
very rewarding.
is.
yes.
It is rewarding.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
This
about
is
you, Ida, with INFJ? How has that like? Because I feel like it's true. Like I
mm-hmm.
agree with Sam in the sense where these personality tests, I try to take it, like I don't try to believe it too much, but I think it also gives you a sense of direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel when you looked at your result, read up on it?
Yeah, I feel like it makes more sense to me, slightly more sense to me than horoscopes do, because um I still do follow the natal chart, but only the natal chart, not the daily horoscopes or anything. So it makes a bit more sense, uh logically speaking, on the how we are kind of categorized lah. Being INFJ, there was one part where they mentioned about being highly sensitive, and I was like, yeah, that's me. Highly sensitive, the idealistic thing, wanting to keep the peace, and I'm like, how did they follow me for the past 24 years to be able to know this? So it makes so much sense to me, especially since I grew into being INFJ, that okay, I guess there's some truth in this. There's quite an amount of truth. The parts that don't tally with me, I feel like it's just because it's not an all rounder thing lah. But essentially, like what I use these personality things for is to read the other person. So let's say I know someone is ESTP, and I know, oh shit, extroverted, sensing person, thinking person, I don't think I can gel. Because yeah, so it's not that I want to stay away, but it'll make sense to me why they are that way for me to not be able to ngam with them, not be able to get along well with them. So that's how I see personality types for Myers Briggs, taking the test and everything. But other than that, being INFJ is amazing. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Like for the longest time, I've been running from it because I've always believed that being introverted is bad lah. Whatever. It's the same thing that Azi, you mentioned about growing up. You were made to believe that was it about mistakes? Everything has to be perfect. So
Yeah.
these things about things needing to be perfect, being introverted is bad. It's basically our culture lah, on how we were molded to believe these things that aren't bad at all are bad. Yeah, because if we take a look at different cultures, people embrace mistakes. If you like, because in Meet the Robinsons, do you guys watch that movie?
Yeah, I
Meet the
did.
Robinsons?
I think a
Yeah.
long time ago I forgot.
Sorry?
I think I forgot about it.
Oh, watch it
Long.
tonight. Or anyone who's viewing this podcast right now, watch Meet the Robinsons, especially when it comes to the peanut butter part where he fails at the peanut butter part. Let that sit with you, because all our lives, especially I don't know if it's Asian culture or not lah, but I also grew up thinking mistakes were super bad. You cannot make a mistake. And also with this whole thing lah, being introverted is a bad thing because you have to want to talk to people. If not, you're weird or whatever. These are all things that people say to you because they don't know how to label the things that are unknown to them. They derive it from their own fear. So yeah, I really skewed off, didn't I?
No,
Yeah, but
it's fine.
No, makes
but
sense.
I guess
Uh,
we can start to wrap it up. But I did
yeah.
want to leave this podcast episode with that no matter what it is, what profession you're in, what you do for fun, anything, really rely back on your. Can you guys see the motorbike? Rely
I
back
think I
on
heard it. Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, rely back and fall back on yourself, I would say. Because even though we grew up with all these things that mean a lot to us coming from our caretakers or people around us, we I think we should take the time to unlearn, because it only gets in the way of your full capability lah. At least that's
Mm,
what happened for me. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I've said my piece. Whew!
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
you guys want to add before we end it?
I want to like just say like yeah, I completely agree with Aziz's point on like basically it was really nice to hear that like She's been able to meet people who let her make mistakes, people who allow you to make mistakes and support you through it, support you through learning from said mistake. Though people like that are very important.
Yeah.
And I am still trying to learn to make mistakes because I am very risk averse. I just don't. It just
Same.
I would just rather not. I'm so afraid of making a mistake that I just kind of freeze in place and I just don't
Yeah.
do anything. I'm paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. So yes, like like what as he said is important. Making mistakes is an important part of I guess anything in life. Like
Yeah.
yeah, mistakes happen. And I had another point that oh okay right like we all like taking personality tests. We agree that it's fun and we get to learn more about ourselves. And like yeah, that's just something that I really like about personality tests. It helps me get to know myself better. And it when you read something that really describes your personality or this aspect of your thinking word for word, it's a really great feeling because it's like a part of you crystallizes. It's like, oh, that's how you that's the word for it. That's the word for something that I've been feeling for all of my life. And
Mm.
that self, that's like, I don't know if I'm using the word properly, that crystallization, it really helps. I think it can really help someone gain confidence in their self, or at least in parts of their self. And like I just want to say that, like, yeah, personality tests are fun, and people should not. I don't think there are people who like don't believe in horoscopes, and that's
Mm.
fine. But like, for I guess for a lot of people, it's a very important tool to get to know ourselves better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
agree. I
agree.
agree. Oh my
I
god,
agree.
we've said so many wholesome things today. Ozzy,
Mhm.
anything from you, Mrs.
Yes. Oh gosh, and the last. Oh, okay. But, I wanted to also add to that for the like personality tests. I do agree that it's really helped me gain confidence. I think, especially because I didn't know how to describe myself in words. I didn't know how others could perceive me. I know, like, that's so annoying because like I'm trying not to think too much about what people think. It's still something that I'm working on.
Mm.
But it was very interesting. But also, I hope that people won't limit themselves because of these tests. Because I think I got so into it in my in my late teens, that I started to define people by their personality tests, and I really missed out on a lot of friendships. And eventually, I came back to them, especially with like my best friend being, I think she's an ISFP or ISFJ. I really didn't think I was gonna get along with her, but now she's my best friend. It's so weird because it's a total opposite or almost a total opposite. But yeah, don't let it limit you. It's great to give you a sense of direction. It also helps you understand maybe why you wouldn't get along with them. So if I didn't get along with
Yeah.
her, I guess I would have understood like maybe it's because we're different, and we are. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
maybe you also kind of take things less personally. Because
Mm,
true.
yeah, it's like,
yes.
oh, that's just something that that's just how they see the world, and
Yeah.
it's not it usually isn't about you, it's just about them.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and
100%.
if you're both like mature adults, like that doesn't come with a personality. Maturity doesn't come with personality tests. If you're both mature adults, you'd be able to talk it out and understand each other. So that's
Yes.
great. And that's why like really friendships can work out, relationships can work out through even though you're like totally different. But yeah. That's for
Preach.
MBTI creativity wise. Also I'm still working on trying to wait, what was it? Make mistakes more, especially moving on to like mid 20s real soon. I think I'm still in my early 20s. Am I? I think so. But
Yeah.
You still are.
yeah, so it's really tough, but you can get through this and it will be rewarding. I know it like so many things happen where you feel like it's the end of the world, but when things get better, you'll realize it was all for something.
Yeah.
Am I making sense? I think I'm
Yes.
repeating words, but yeah.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this episode.
Same.
I can't wait to rewatch it, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if
I
there's
can't wait
nothing
to I can't wait to make the collage for this episode.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see the collage.
Okay, wait, that's a lot of pressure. Okay, stop.
Okay, enough. That's the cap. That's
Yeah.
the cap. But
That's a camp.
yeah, if there's nothing that you guys wanna add, then no.
No, I mean we are kind of cutting it close. We do have to
Yeah.
rush
So
after this. Sorry, guys.
I will end it here lah because we
Can.
all gotta get to our own things. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching or for listening. If you are on Spotify right now,
Thank
don't forget to
you.
follow us on Instagram, downtime_podcast. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. It's free, it's red, it's lovely, it's squishy. Go hit that. If you like this video, please comment on it. Leave a like if you want. And if you have any ideas on what you guys want to hear next, what you want us to talk about, do let us know in the comments below. So yeah, until then, this has been Downtime. I'm Aida.
I'm Ozzy.
And I'm Sam.
And yeah, see you in the next episode. Stay safe, take care, eat well, sleep well, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.